and thank you for tuning into a pod of Born to Be a Star. Today is Tuesday. It's another opportunity for us to look in the mirror and recognize our star power wherever we are. Whether we are in the U.S. of A., United States of America, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, New England, or Los Angeles, or you're in Canada. I could name a bunch of places: Montreal, Quebec, a bunch of other places. Canada is a really beautiful place for sure. Or whether you're in Spain, or whether you're in Australia, or whether you're anywhere, I guess, or Paris, or France, or England, or Europe, wherever you are, even if you're in South Africa. Welcome to the podcast of Born to Be a Star where you recognize your star. Your star power is the ability to recognize that you can do anything you put your mind to. It's the ability for you to recognize that you can do it. Yes, I can. Say it again with me. Sometimes life gives you situations where you just feel like, fuck, I got to do this all over again. Oh my God, here we go again. Like it's one thing after another. That's kind of how it feels when it happens. Like that's the word you want to say, and that's kind of the way you feel. It'll get better. It always does. I feel like, there's a situation or there is a way to get through that. It's by having confidence. There's a way to get through when you're not feeling 100% about yourself. It's called acknowledging yourself and what you've been through. Some people are easy to conversate with and other people's aren't. Some situations are going to be better than others. Some are going to suck and some are going to be amazing. We have to be fully aware of that. Everything is not going to be the way you want it. Not everything is going to be guns and roses or perfect or pretty. Some things are going to suck and be dingy. That's life, man. And I know sometimes we don't want to say that, but sometimes we have to. So I dare you to see the good and not see the bad. I dare you not to relish on what could have been or what should have been or why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Don't live in yesterday today. Like you can't bring last week into your tomorrow. That's not how it works. Looking in the rearview mirror won't help you looking forward, and you'll probably get into a car accident. So don't do that. Yeah. Be better. Be better about your life. Anyways, let's get into my favorite part of this podcast. No media allowed, no media allowed, no media allowed. Because they lie to us anyway. Let's talk about Ukraine, okay? I feel like this problem with Ukraine or Russia is really affecting the United States and America in a bad way, meaning we're the ones being punished for whatever Putin's deciding to do. And we don't actually know what Putin is deciding to do. We don't. But I love how the news likes to act like they do. I love how everyone wants to act like they have some secret, like, inept way to figure out what Putin's doing. Although they don't have any of that. And it's really quite irritating that they act like they do. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, are we seriously talking about it like this? There's got to be a better way to do things. And the better way to do things is by not denying reality. What's happening in Russia is horrible. Okay. But how are you wording this to the people in America? Because are you really going to allow 100,000 refugee Ukrainians to America and just give them all these things that people have been in lines waiting for? I mean, how does that process work? You already have a bad things going on with the Mexican border. And you're having a lot of problems when it comes to immigration in the United States. There's a lot of issues here. And I'm all for, everybody should have an opportunity and a chance to make it in the place where you can make it in America. I do agree with that. But I do think everything has to happen the way it's supposed to happen. Like, no one should be able to cut the line. And the fact that that's what this looks like to someone that's not as aware of what's going on, right? Someone that doesn't have a lot of background or knowledge of actual news, that is just listening to the TV, they're not going to actually get the full story with that. That's a problem. Like, you can't rely on the news for any kind of coverage because they're just changing the narrative that matches up with what they want it to sound like. That's a problem. Is it not? Is it not? We have to be better. Like, seriously. Not only better, but we have to encourage others to seek truth, not encourage others to seek lies. Yesterday I told you about the fact that I was excited about Keonji becoming part of the new lawyer squad, whatever. And I was excited about that. What I'm not excited about is the way that happened. All the things that Biden said incorrectly before she got selected into that position. Like, she's very smart. She's very talented. The color of her skin has nothing to do with that. It's just who she is as a person. Is it great that she's black? At last, they put a black woman there in that position. That is quite amazing, okay? It is very amazing. And we should all be clapping and we should be very excited. Indeed. Do I like when they use race all the time? No. Why don't I like I don't like that they use race all the time? Because it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, like, come on, man. It's got to be better, okay? It's got to be better. And it's got to make sense. And it has to be a variety of things. It can't just be like, this person's this color because we have to do it. Like, are you trying to be politically correct? Because I'm really tired of the politically correct. People need to call out the media for not doing their job. Really, they need to. These people are going to try to get reelected. They need a surprise. Like, no one votes for them. What happens if no one votes for you and the people that you needed to vote for you don't vote? You lose. What happens when you lose? Someone else takes the position. Should that be happening? Yes. Is it happening? I don't know. But it should be. It really should. I don't like the idea that no one's being held accountable. Doesn't that irritate you? Like, it's okay. It doesn't matter. This person did this, but it's okay. Did you hear what I just said? Who is being held accountable when they don't hold these leaders accountable? These people are supposed to be the leader. The leader of what? If you're constantly giving all this money to other places and other countries, but you're not fixing the country you represent, isn't that a problem? And I use the tone all the time about how America is always trying to fix everywhere else but itself. Not looking in the mirror and recognizing your reflection is a problem. Maybe your skin got burnt by the sun, okay? Maybe that acne needs some treatment, right? Maybe you need to get your eyebrows done, just saying. Maybe you need to wash your hair, just saying. Maybe there's a lot of things you need to do, just saying. We have to be better at recognizing things. And I don't know if the United States is good at that. It's an amazing country, all right? I love being an American, okay? I love my home country. I love my community where I live. I love how I grew up, loving everybody. Race didn't have anything to do with it. I grew up with an amazing people, okay? I really did. I had an amazing childhood, okay? And I lived in a community that didn't care about race, okay? So, like, when I hear certain things, it has me questioning the government. Like, when they do the whole, like black thing, or they do the race thing, or they do like man versus woman thing, or they try to narrate the news thing, or they try to do all this justice, or they did the things with the cops. Like, can we be real, okay? Because we were just talking about that. They're not going to take money away from police. They're not going to do it. There's no defunding the police. That doesn't make sense. And when you do defund the police, then you're leaving the community up for grabs. And that's not a good look either. Can we just do things better in the United States of America? If we're going to be helping all these other countries, could we help out America too? Like, let's be better about that. Just saying, food for thought. America needs to be better. Not just the president, but the whole Democratic Party needs to be better. They need to do things better, okay? The news stations with these morons that are talking, they need to be better too. They all need to be better. Like, it can't just be save the world and not save the place you actually represent. Food for thought for your Tuesday. America has a way of changing the narrative so it fits whatever they're saying. And I don't know if I agree with that. I just, nah. More thought needs to go into that. Definitely. Anyways, next part of our conversation. Thank you for tuning into this Tuesday version of No Media Allowed, No Media Allowed, No Media Allowed. Because they lie to us every day. I'm giving you the truth about the media because they're lying because they do it every day. There is no Asian Lives Matter anything. That was a bunch of shit. The Black Lives Matter group that everybody wants to hype up took a lot of money, and where are they now? Okay? January 6th happened a year ago. Why are we still talking about that? Most of the people that did whatever they did on that day, most of them are not getting in trouble. One person got shot because she was doing something she wasn't supposed to be doing. How can we give sympathy for that? I don't understand it. Why are we still talking about January 6th in April of 2022? Doesn't that sound insane? Like, is it just me that's just wondering, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? America, be better. Anyways, next part of our conversation. When someone is prejudiced, and the reason why I named this Prejudice Vibes is because it's 2022, and people still like to do the thing where they want to act like they're better than you because I guess they're white. What does that mean? White privilege? What does that mean? Now, I'm a mixed girl. My husband's a variation of different versions of one race, white. And that doesn't matter to me. Like, it shouldn't matter to anybody. I don't know what the big ordeal is about race. Why is it you have to use prejudiced tones and innuendos in situations, like in a retail situation, in any type of a customer service situation? Why am I feeling any kind of a tone here, right? That's a problem. And I know I'm not the only one that's had it. There's been many a times when I've been in certain situations, different towns, different places where I felt some sort of way about something. And I shouldn't be feeling that way. And no one should be feeling that way. But a lot of people are. And it really broke my heart when my mom said to me that she was in a store and she felt like somebody didn't want to let her have an item in the store because they were prejudiced. Now, again, my mom's mixed too. So, like, anyone going after my family, or if that was your family member, you probably would have felt the same way too. Like, what? Like, I'm just dumbfounded by the idea of someone being prejudiced. I don't understand it. Like, it confuses me because I see people as people, not the color of their skin, but the person, what they're talking about, who they are, their character, them. I don't see a person at the color of their skin. Like, I have a puppy. He's a teacup terrier. He's 4.5 pounds. He's the color of a terrier, but I see him as Benny. He's a living being, and I love him. My nephew, my family members, they're people. I love them. They're not just a name. I love them. My brothers, they're my brothers, man. Regardless of the situation, they're still my brothers. My parents, they're still my parents. Like, Do you understand what I'm saying? What prejudice stems for? That's being taught to people. Racism is taught. Being prejudiced is taught. I don't like that. And like I said to my mom when she explained that she was having a difficult time or she felt some sort of way, you know how you respond back to someone being prejudiced? You could bring up the fact that it's 2022, or you could bring up the fact that they're illiterate. Because being prejudiced and acting a certain way because of the color of someone's skin or making it seem like someone from another country is better than someone from another country is idiotic, okay? Idiotic. Let's stop. Let's stop. The world has to do a better job with race. Slavery ended, okay? Black people are not slaves. Stop. America. Stop, stop, stop. Stop doing the I feel bad for you shit so you want to make it seem like the only community that needs stuff is the poor community for black people. There's a lot of black people that aren't poor, okay? There's a lot of mixed people that are mixed with other things outside of just white. White people aren't the grandiose of living. No race is. We're just people living here. Can we just all agree we're in a gray? We're all gray. Like, the color doesn't mean nothing, man. It's the personality, not the skin tone. Like, we just need to get to that point together. But you can't completely lose your shit and go rogue on somebody in a public setting because they're racist. Now, I've dealt with a lot of racist situations with people questioning my hair because I have curly hair, with people being very rude and disrespectful, saying, put your hair down, do this, do that. They do it all the time. Do I take offense to it? No. Have I been in situations where people have gone out of their way to be disrespectful to me? Yes. Do I let it get to me? No. Because they're pathetic and they suck. And am I going to let that daunt my life or daunt my day? No, I'm not. Obviously, they're illiterate and they don't understand life. And if they want to act like that, they can. But I'm not going to choose to live my life worrying about that. I'm free, man. I'm loved. I have family that loves me. I'm just going to continue to do better. And you should do the same thing. If someone's being prejudiced against you and you're white and you feel like somebody that's Spanish is being prejudiced against you because you're white, like now the narrative has changed and the bad person is white people. Or sometimes in certain situations, white people want to think they're better than other people. But in other situations, I don't know, Polynesian people think they're better. Like if you go to Albania, Albanian people probably think they're better than everybody else. Who knows? If you go to Turkey, Turkish people probably think they're better. So each is their own. But can we get past the prejudice vibes, man? I don't like feeling like that, and no one should. We need to do better. So, just saying. Things have to improve. Because if they don't improve, no one's going to feel safe in this world. And that's not okay. It's not. Next part of our conversation. Don't just agree. You don't have to just agree with shit because somebody says something and you feel like you can't have a voice or an opinion. There's been so many situations I've been in my life where I feel like I just have to agree with people to get them to shut the fuck up. I talked about people being annoying yesterday. That kind of falls into that conversation. Like, you don't have to agree with people. You can have your own opinions. Sometimes people think you're wrong and you're right. Sometimes people want to have their own views and they're wrong. And that's okay. Like, whatever. Don't let people ruin your day, man. Just don't allow it. Don't just agree with a group of people or a person or a situation because it's more difficult to disagree with it. Not okay. It's not. Sometimes it's hard to be honest, but it's necessary. When I have these conversations with you about politicians and the media and the news and or different countries or Ukraine or jobs or people or places or things or items or whatever it is, family members or friends or disagreeing or agreeing, these really crazy ass conversations we have together. When I'm having these conversations with you, I'm being completely honest. Because honesty is the only key to success. And it's necessary. You don't want to be in a predicament where you're always just saying random shit. Granted, it depends on the place or the time. Some people don't deserve to know really anything about you. Like, you could put on a shell and just hobble around and pretend to be something else because you don't want someone to know your true identity. I'd say it's always important to have a shell, because in some situations you don't want someone to have your identity, or you don't want someone to know who you are. So in certain places, it's better to be safe than sorry, but in other situations it's important to be honest. Like, if you don't agree with the Democratic Party and you aren't into politicians and you're about to vote for something and you disagree with what Biden's saying, you might decide you want to vote Republican. Or if you're having a situation and you don't think one thing leads to another, it's okay. You don't have to. If you're having a conversation and somebody doesn't like a TV show you're watching, you don't have to not like the TV show because they don't. Or if you like one company versus another, you don't. Like, just because somebody likes Michael Kors doesn't mean you have to. Just because someone doesn't know what Peloton is doesn't mean you have to get mad because you own one. Do you know that one time I said to somebody, I'm getting a Peloton, I can't wait to work from home, and they said to me, what is that? Like, in my head I was thinking, you don't know what a Peloton is? But then it occurred to me, like, some people don't know things about certain things, so like, you can't be judgy, you just have to accept it. But don't just agree with people because they say something. You can disagree and have your own opinion. That's that. Sometimes it can feel like you're never going to find comfort in whatever part of your journey you're in, wherever you are or wherever you left off. Like, you feel like you can't feel comfortable, like you can't feel like you're enjoying your life, but you can enjoy your life. And if you're not feeling comfortable, if you are feeling out of place, if you're not feeling the way you want to, then you need to change your life. If the job's not making you feel good about yourself, find another one. It's the best time in the world to be looking for a job. Everybody's hiring. This is the time where you take your life back and you put a smile on your face doing it, because you're worth everything. You are priceless. No one can afford you. That's the mentality you have to walk around with in your head. You have to think all the things you can do, not what could have happened. It's so important that we don't lose sight of ourselves while we're dealing with everything else. And I got to tell you, I think it's great that people walked out of their jobs. I think it's great that people decided that they're worth more than dealing with shitty people that don't deserve them. You know how corporations are? Like, do they actually care about the person? I don't know. Typically, it's only about the benefit. The only people that are at the jobs that aren't working from home are the bottom people. Like, because, like, the bosses are not in office locations. They're all working remote. Okay. They don't need to be there on site. There's that too. There's a lot taking place. A lot. And we need to have that all be relevant in our everyday life. I'm just saying, like, seriously, dude. Things have to change. So, comfort with your job, comfort with what you're doing, like social media, turn it off, dude. Like, if something's not making you feel comfortable, move on. If you're not comfortable cooking certain foods, cook something else. If you're not comfortable with this, find something else. If you're surrounded by people in your personal life that aren't making you feel comfortable, or they're making you feel some type of way with yourself because you haven't accomplished things the way they've accomplished it, then find new people to be around. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Life's too short to be worried about stuff like that. Life's too short. Like, things can be replaced. People can be replaced. Situations can be fixed. But you deteriorating is not the best answer. Just saying. Anyways, next part of our conversation. Laugh. You're awesome. If you're not having a good day or you're feeling some type of way about something, just laugh. Just smile. Sometimes you'll want to cry. Sometimes you'll feel like shit. Sometimes you'll feel like pulling your hair out. Sometimes you'll be completely feeling like you're going insane. Don't let that get you. Just laugh. Just smile. Just live with it. Sometimes you have to live with the pain to get to the good. You know, one of my friends said to me last week, instead of focusing on the bad, find the good. And she was completely correct. Sometimes I get caught up in my own misery and I forget, like, nothing's going to last forever. Things will get better. You don't have to constantly just be miserable. It's true. It's so true. Smile. You're awesome. And laugh too, because laughing makes everything better. Next part of our conversation, has Prime returned with horror? Hopefully. And hopefully they continue it. I'm just hoping I find better options and better scary things there, because they surely have a platform to provide it. And aren't they dealing deals? Didn't they just buy like Epics or something? They should definitely have enough money to be making things scary. I'm just saying. Come on, Prime. Show me the horror. Know what you did last summer, season 2. Let's go. Will there be another season of True Detective? I'm hoping HBO comes out with that. Is it coming out? I don't know. It's been a couple of years, I think. We'll have to wait and see. Flip and flop. It looks like it's over. I guess Tarek threw a fit or something. I kind of missed it, but I don't know. I got to do an investigation on it myself to see if it's worth me watching. I guess Christina got a new boyfriend after her divorce from the other dude, and I don't know, there's a lot going on there, and I'm not caught up with all of it, and I don't really know if I have time to be caught up with all of it, and I don't even know if it's important enough for me to care. I did like Flip or Flop. It was very entertaining, but we'll see what happens. To each is their own. Next part of our conversation. Still haven't gotten Discovery Plus. Like, I don't know if I want to spend $4.99. Am I going to watch all the shows on Discovery Plus? I already don't have enough time to watch all the stuff that we already look at now. Granted, there's shows that come on different days, so maybe we'll do more. But, like, I feel like, do I need Discovery Plus if I'm already watching HGTV on HGTV and I have access to Food Network? Do I need Discovery Plus? Is that necessary? Maybe not, because I don't know if I'm going to look at it for all those other shows. I probably never will watch them. They're not that important to me. So for now, I'm going to say pass on Discovery Plus. Next part of our conversation, let's move into Veekstar with food. Meatloaf can be good or it could be bad. Like, we got meatloaf from Big Y, and we had it one day, and then we didn't have it the other day. Skip said it tasted funny. Typically, I like to make meatloaf myself or just get the meatloaf pre-made. Like, everything's put together and you just put it in the oven and make it. I'm not sure about this one, but I'd say we're better off going to the market than maybe getting it at the grocery store. I told you how I feel about things at the grocery store. That's probably why we didn't like it as much. I'm not saying that Big Y doesn't have a good selection of things, because they do, but I don't know about that meatloaf. That's kind of questionable. Mixed veggies. You can put mixed veggies in anything. Pasta. You can put it with chicken. You can put whatever protein you want to put it with. You could even put it with tofu. You could literally make a mixed veggie, like, one pot pan. Like, you could do so many things with one pot cooking, and you just mix the veggies into it. There's so much you can do with it. Sky's the limit with mixed veggies. And you can steam them. You can put them in, like, a one pan. You can air fry them. You can do anything. And I know you're like, you can air fry veggies. Yes, you can air fry veggies. And if you haven't tried it yet, you need to. Green sauce. What am I talking about? I'm saying you're mixing spinach with a bunch of other greens, and you're putting some avocado in there, and you're making your own green sauce, whether it be for pasta or just a topping. Green sauce can really kick your whatever you're cooking to the next step and really give you some really incredible flavors. So if you're looking for something that's different, I say make a green sauce instead of maybe making an Alfredo. Are protein shakes okay? We talked about that last week or the other day or something. Yeah, I'd say stick to maybe breakfast. I mean, I did Herbalife, right? So I used to have 2 shakes a day, and I would eat once. So I would eat lunch, and I would have the shakes for breakfast and dinner. Or I would switch it around depending on what meal I ate, what meal I was going to eat at home or whatever. It was easier to have lunch because I could make lunch and meal prep that, and that was easier. So that's the way I did it. I'd say that protein shakes are good for the morning. It's important to build a regimen so you get used to doing it over and over and over again, and let that be something that's normal to you. So I'd say start off with breakfast. Cooking with macadamia nuts. I think you could put them in salads. You could definitely put it in the pasta, but I'd start with salads. I'd say you could definitely put it into a wrap, maybe like a chicken meal or something with fish. They definitely go well with fish, especially salmon or tilapia. Definitely good. When people, does anyone like peanut butter? Because some people are like, I like peanut butter, I eat it, and other people are like, I don't know. I feel like no. Like, I like peanut butter. I have it in the fridge, and every now and then I want a PB&J sandwich. It's okay, but I don't want to eat it every day. Like, I don't know. I'm not obsessed with peanut butter like that. I don't understand why people really like it like that. The taste is kind of it's okay. I'll eat it, but like if I'm forced to eat it, not because I just want to eat it every day. Like, the idea of having PB&J sandwiches every day is like a nightmare to me. That's just me. Next part of our conversation. When people say they like seafood but hate fish, I'm like, so you really don't like seafood then? You like part of seafood. I understand that people don't like fish, but like, have you actually tried it before you're saying you don't like it? Like, what's the deal with that? Like, seriously? I don't know. Is that a culture thing, or do people just not like fish? Like, fish fries and like baked fish to me is so delicious. Like, the idea of tilapia or salmon or cod or really any fish, sold. Find me there with some fries. Let's go. I'm a total seafood carny. I'll eat all seafood. I'm not kicking nothing out. I like all of it. I'll even eat the brains in a lot. I'll eat all of it. That's me, but like, I feel like you're not all in if you're saying that. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, dude, do you know what time it is? It's the end of the podcast where I tell you how cool you are and that you need to try some fish. Also, you need to catch up on all your shows, bro. You got a lot of stuff to do. Don't get that Discovery Plus app because you're not going to look at it. And if someone approaches you and is prejudiced to you, guess what you can do? Ignore them because they're stupid and they probably need to go back to school. And what part of school am I talking about? Preschool. That's where they need to go with all the other 4-year-olds. Someone needs to teach them some manners. Like, they need a hard lesson in reality. And maybe